Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. I think you just caught me mid-FIFA. Love it. Hope you're all doing well. Smash me like on the video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, and of course hit that notification bell. I hope you're all right. I heard it go then and I thought I'm supposed to be doing something, and then I was like, shit. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, and of course hit that notification bell. Look, the presser was pretty straightforward, but what I didn't like was lost at the start. I was just taking a shot, bro. What I didn't like was the chat on January. He said it will be pretty quiet. I hope it is this as well, Tyler, when he says just managing expectations about January comments can't sit still like last year. That's where I have to agree as well, because I did a video not too long ago. Ipswich didn't stand still. Southampton didn't stand still, and they got promoted. I know Leicester did no business, but they tried. Maybe where the Leicester, I don't know. Do you want to spend money for spending money's sake? But I'd like to see a 10. I'd like to see potentially even a 9. I don't think he will get a 9 though. He's got 3 options there, hasn't he? That's the way he'll see it. Bamford, obviously, although he's not playing, he's fit. And he's not being rushed, so he's a last resort for him. Pirro, Joseph, so yeah, he probably doesn't entertain the 9, which I wouldn't mind. But the 10, we have to get a 10 just to give Aronson a rest as well. But yeah, probably there is this as well. Cards close to chest, and this is a good point as well. And even still, Maresca was not happy when they didn't sign anyone in January, and they certainly did try to sign a guy over in Italy, didn't they? And they also had the FFP over their heads. They had the point deduction hanging over their heads. So that was probably another reason why they were reluctant to do deals as well. We don't have any of that. So I would expect and do want Leeds United to do deals. Basically what he said at the end was just ultimately that he expects a really quiet January. He doesn't. So basically, Baron Cross asked him the transfer plans for January, and I'll read. I'll take verbatim what was said. So he said, "I expect a pretty quiet January transfer window unless something unexpected happens, like a serious injury, as we experienced with Ampadu or Gruev. Sometimes you can do too much and upset what is a tight group," which I agree with in certain aspects. Obviously, we do have a tight group. We do have a good group, that's clear to see. It was nice for me yesterday after the game where you seen Firpo, Schmidt and Ampadu all going into the dressing room afterwards, because sometimes injured players don't bother going, and it happens. So it's good to see that, because sometimes I might stay at home or whatever it's called. It's Wednesday night, we're playing Luton, yada, 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 but they were all there. And that was good to see, and it's clear they do have a group. But so I hear where Farke's coming from in that respect, and he is big on that stuff, and he's great at man management. I think it's one of his key attributes, in my opinion. So I get not wanting to upset a group, but I still think we need additions. We don't want to sit on our hands like we've done previously. And, we only have to look back at last January. And so Ipswich bringing Loney Sarmiento, bought Ali Al-Hamadi, Kiefer Moore, Leeds United brought in Connor Roberts, and then obviously we know Southampton brought David Brooks, Joe Rothwell, and they got promoted. We didn't. So there's something in that. Them two things correlate for me. But yeah, he said he don't want to upset a tight-knit group. If they keep performing the way they are, they deserve to remain in the spotlight. I hear it, but at the same time, this football club has probably let players remain in the spotlight a little bit too long, and we should have probably moved them on sooner or potentially upgraded them. You can look to Bamford, you can look to Melier, you can look to other players that, perceived old guard, etc., which, I was in love with. But when you can look back, maybe with hindsight, you say, could we have improved on them? Maybe. Could we have done that sooner? Maybe. But we did do a lot of, and I'm probably harping back to the Bielsa era, where we did put a lot of stock in players that were already here, as opposed to improving on them. So you could look at Adam Forshaw, the situation with Radrazani in the previous, who's our midfielder? Forshaw with Love Arts. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I get, these players deserve to remain in the spotlight because we're top and they've brought us here, etc. But that's like saying, you just don't buy anyone in the Premier League then as well. Do you know what I mean? You have to continuously improve. But in Farke's opinion, he would prefer a quiet January, but will also stay awake for any possibilities. He always says this, doesn't he? We will stay awake. He said our scouts and recruitment team will have options for every position to make sure we are well placed to react to things. Based on them comments and what I think could happen, I think Joffrey Gelhardt goes out on loan and Leeds United bringing a 10 on loan for the Premier League. I don't know where. If Boba wants to leave, then we'll replace him. If no one else goes, then I don't know if we will do much. But we do need a 10 to help shoulder the burden with Aronson. I think that's only fair. Chaplin would be ideal, exactly, Tyler. Someone of that ilk. And there will be players you can go out and get on loan that can do a job. So, yeah, I think you've got to let Gelhardt go because he's got to bloody play football. Replace him with a 10. Perfect. We've got 4 wingers. We've got 3 strikers. We've got 1 10. 1 out-and-out 10, even if you can call him that. We've got 4 midfielders. We've got 4 centre-backs if you throw Voba and Byram in there. We've got 3 left-backs if you look at Voba, Firpo, Byram. You've got Schmidt, who can be a winger or a left-back on the right side. You've got Byram. You've got, obviously, Bogle. And probably Schmidt could play there as well. He played there this season. So, if we're being honest, we probably only need a 10. Really. If we get any players, it'll be a loan, because if we go, we can get much better quality than Chaplin. Yeah, 100%, but he could be a loan, for example. I don't know what his game time's like at Ipswich, but just someone of that ilk. So, yeah. Maybe people will see that, you're already lowering expectations, etc. You want to see us go, which I do, but when we actually go through the squad there, the 10 is the main one for me. And we wanted one in the summer. Let's go and get one and let Joffrey go out on loan. I think that's the way we look at it. From what I'm hearing, Farke has been told to keep quiet. Yeah, I mean, he pretty much does that anyway. I think he only got annoyed, didn't he, towards the back end of the transfer window when he spoke about wanting a 10 and how he'd said to them. And that's why there's been changes in the background. We'll have to wait and see. Carvalho's never happening. I don't know who's pushing that narrative now. I mean, no disrespect to my pal, but Evan Ferguson to Leeds? Really? Give over. Carvalho? No. He's just gone to Brentford. It's not happening. Like, why? It's crazy. Why? Honestly. Yeah, some names, I think sometimes you're just plucked out of the air. My man's been playing for Brentford as well. He's played 11 times this season for Brentford. And what, have they played like 15 games in the Premier, something like that? So he's heavily involved. They're not going to buy him and then loan him. You've got, the Evan Ferguson shout was a wild one. But hey ho, it is what it is. Buendia, maybe we tried. He's not getting game time now, is he? So, more chance of Duncan Ferguson, I know. But just say what I hear about. Yeah, Carvalho won't be the one though, mate. For me, he's playing at Brentford. He's just got a big money move to Brentford. He's not going to then be loaned out. Sorry, forget about Gulavogi. Forget about that guy. My apologies. But he's there as well, isn't he? So he's another option. Let's get into the rest of the presser then now, after that transfer. What about Foden? Imagine. He's dead this season anyway, man. Give me Cole Palmer any day of the week. Give me Cole Palmer any day of the week. So Farke was here. He was asked specifically on Byram. We know that Sam Byram obviously went off with a hamstring injury as a precaution. Farke said he's all right. He did have a scan. We're waiting for the results. Late call tomorrow if he travels with us. We have to wait and be patient. It's a good job Firpo's back. And, you know, Byram now potentially might not play for a bit. Might come off the bench at times, but he did. I'll be grateful for these 4 or 5 games he's played, right back and left back. And you know, he signed it off with a lovely goal last night. Sam Di Canio, Paolo Byram. So yeah, happy days for him. He will get a scan. I don't think they'll risk him. And look, we don't need him. You know, Farke was talking him up, and you know, when the questions put to him about Firpo's, though, ooh, do you throw him straight back in? Well, of course, Firpo's coming straight back in. He wasn't injured; he was suspended, so no problem there. Catherine Hannah from the BBC asked him about the left back options. Again, Farke says we have to decide if Sam is available. Would prefer to have him as an option. Played excellently last night. He's good for defensive stability and he's good in possession. I did really like him in Burton yesterday. And he's experience and strength at set pieces, which he is good at. He is one of the... Luke, they're not shouts, bro. Evan Ferguson at Brighton is not a shout for the Championship. It is crazy to even think that's a conversation, by the way. 100%. He's good for defensive stability and in possession, and his experience and strengths at set pieces. Important player in the dressing room. We will find some solutions if he is not available. Whoever gets the nod has a chance. Again, Farke's been... Is it political? Farke's been nice, potentially. There is no way that he doesn't start Firpo if Firpo's available. I think we all know that. So as much as it's disappointing that Farke, that Byram's out, there you go. I don't see it. Got to be real. Yeah. Carvalho's dad's been commenting on Club X account, telling him to get out of the club. What, get out of Brentford after just signing for them? Well, so that means he's coming to Leeds? What are we doing here? Has that actually happened? Carvalho's dad? What's he said? Get out of the club and go to Leeds United? Where have we seen this? It tells his son to leave the club in now deleted post on Brentford's Instagram page. Daniel Strong 7-word transfer message. So he's told them to leave the club. It's just signed there. It's not going to happen, is it? Yeah. And Leeds United aren't then going to sign him on the back of that. So no, yeah, Carvalho's dad on a bit of a mad one. But listen, this doesn't mean anything, to be honest. We have a good relationship, and it's potential. No, Luke, honestly, Evan, are we? Oh God, man. Have you? No one in their right mind thinks Evan Ferguson is going to the Championship. It's not a conversation. It's insane, is what it is. It is insane. And I just don't think you'd be having the conversation if it hadn't been spoken about. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. No, it's not. It's not. You're wasting your time. It is mental. Yeah, it is wild on your shout of God. Listen, West Ham, Newcastle. Learn of potential loan for Evan Ferguson, not Leeds United in the Championship. Not Leeds United in the Championship. Evan Ferguson is a baller. Just because he's not in Hösler's plans doesn't mean he's somehow going to drop down a division to the Championship. When clubs like Newcastle, West Ham, clubs that can give him big money, I would be interested in him. we're going to say, come to Leeds United and compete with Pirro and that for number one. It's just crazy. Right, okay. Luke, Solomon hadn't played for a year. Solomon had to go to resurrect his career. Evan Ferguson does not. Look at this here. Arsenal latest. Ferguson on loan. Gyökeres chances. Nah, but he's coming to Leeds United. Mental. 4 hours ago, Herzler. Ferguson is staying, but must accept his role. He is not going out on loan. There you go. Done. So that's kiboshed. Wonder there'll be a video about that. Who knows, eh? Don't believe the hype. Anyway. Because then it's frustrating because then you have to back questions where like, oh, you know, Evan Ferguson's realistic possibility. No, it never was. Ever. Why that would be a thing. But hey ho. He was asked about the wingers. Can Ramazani start on Saturday? Out for several weeks. He's been in team training for a few days. Had 10 minutes last night. Not a complicated part of the game. Put in a very good shift for us. Top class player, but he needs time. Not a topic to start this week. He did tell us that. Have his magic, you know. So again, he'll probably be bench. I think the wingers will be James and Nonto, with Solomon playing 90 last night. If Solomon starts the game again, at that point, we have to accept that Farke's favourite winger is Solomon. Because I just think for him to rotate James and Nonto, and then Solomon get 90, I just assume from that, I say, right, you're getting a rest on Saturday and them two are starting and you'll come off the bench. But if he starts him, then I'll be going, right, Farke just loves this guy. But yeah, Ramazani's not a topic to start this week. He said, look, Ramazani has magic around him. He's got that creative touch. He's so good for us and can create something out of nothing on the field. And 2 days in training will help him a lot between now and Saturday. In terms of wingers, he was asked, how do you keep them all happy? Because that's something you could argue that he wasn't doing last season, because we saw like Anthony and all that sort of stuff. So you could argue that, but this season he is. We're seeing rotation all the time, which is a massive positive. We're seeing it a lot. But he said, look, they are only 100% happy when they play every minute. You've got to keep in mind, though, you have 46 games, cups, internationals. In this position, you have to show intensity and creativity. You cannot play every minute. Quality on the bench. Nonto started last night, came in on Sunday. James did not start and was terrific and scored last night. But this is the difference, right? This is where we have to go. Look back at last season. He didn't rotate. He didn't trust the options that he got, right? Like, if you think about it, he didn't trust Anthony. He did not, because he played Somerville every game. He played Rota every game. James only came out because he was injured. Then Nonto was put in. Do you know what I mean? Whereas now he's talking like how you would expect a manager to talk on players. So it's a positive that he trusts the players. You know, and he is going to rotate. He said, look, the value of these players is so important. Not playing 90 or 90 minutes. They all play a key role. They have to accept my decision and then take the chance when it comes, which you could argue Joseph hasn't, for example. Yeah. So I know this is off the winger subject, but if you look at Joseph, whenever he comes on, he's missed a few, done it. Whereas when Pirro was coming off the bench, he was taking chances, and now he's starting. So I do think there is a case of saying, like, if you do it off the bench, then boom. But yeah, he said they have to accept my decision, then take the chance when it comes. Nobody is annoyed when they are substituted. Everyone needs to be buzzing for the team. Great togetherness and unity. We have worked on this spirit and these vibes. And we have to agree he has as well, because the football club was an absolute shit show when he came in, if we're being honest. Players sacking it off, characters in the dressing room that were no good, you know, Cooper, get the feck out, that kind of vibe. That's how I'm now changed. We're back in love with the team again, I would argue. You know, it's not Bielsa love, but it's getting close to. I'm not meaning the manager, but if you look at the squad, I like our squad. I like the players within the squad. Do you know what I mean? Like the loving for Tanaka, for James now, which is James has always been loved, but from certain sections, and I include myself with that, he's been frustrating. That's now gone because Farke's improved him. Farke has done so much. I guess the only one that probably brings up any conversation is Bamford. People tried it with Byram, but they were put in the box. I don't see it anymore. But yeah, he has created that. He has created togetherness within this squad, which is great and has helped us enjoy them again. He was then asked how he deals with the drop players. He says they have to accept it. He's the gaffer. I'm the boss. They know my door is open for an honest answer. When I was a player, I just wanted to start. And if I didn't, I was annoyed. But I didn't want an explanation. Some do, though, right? Some will go and ask. We've seen many documentaries now, Sunderland Till I Die. The Tottenham one where Danny Rose goes in and goes, I'm going to speak to Daniel. So we see it. But he said, look, they concentrate on the football, and if they don't want to speak to me about it, sometimes a coach can explain it or be quiet, but they know we would rotate during this load in the games, sometimes tactical and performance reasons, different scenarios. And do you know what as well? When a manager's making decisions that you might not agree with, but you're getting results, then people just put up and shut up. We've heard so many stories now, like with Bielsa, etc. The only time they went to question him is when we were getting walloped in the Prem. And then he just doubled down on it and made it work harder for them. And, ultimately he lost his job, right? Wrong decision, but he lost his job. And, up until that point, they'd never really questioned him because they were getting results. And these players that are, James would have been shocked to have been on the bench. Nonto, shocked to have been on the bench. But you can't really say because we've won the game and they're coming off the bench and also contributing and then being rewarded with starts in the next game. So is it any wonder that the camp right now is in good spirits? No. And Farke deserves so much praise. There's been so much shit slung at this manager, by the way. So much shit. Oh, they won't like this. Oh, the 49ers businessmen. They won't like this. Oh, the players won't like this. It's all lies. It's all bullshit. And we're seeing the fruits of the labour now, and we're going to have a good season, and we're going to enjoy it. Yeah, Ricky Gervais watched the Leeds doc. I hear him say that. I watched it. Big up, Damar. I love you, bro. Yeah, so the conversations with the players are quite easy, obviously, when we're getting results. In terms of Blackburn, was he surprised about Borough? Because obviously they got a result away at the Riverside, which is a huge result. And again, that thing, and I've been one banging the drum on Borough, but they are inconsistent, and we've seen that. What did they score? 15 in 3 games, and they get beat by Blackburn. Blackburn are a good side, though. We can't take them lightly, that's for sure. We will have a preview for you tomorrow when that's done. Tonight, we've got final word at 9 o'clock as well. Don't forget that. So that should be good. But he said, yeah, Borough on a great run, but it's impressive for Blackburn to go there and get the away win and also get a clean sheet against a team that have been scoring at will. He said, not surprised because they've shown this during the whole season. Winning the game in hand puts them in the top 6. We know it's not an easy place for us. Got to remember, they're managed by John Eustace as well. And John Eustace did the double over Farke last season with Birmingham and then with Blackburn when he was sacked from Birmingham. So it will be a tough game, this. He said it's our 3rd game in 6 days. But again, we can rotate now as well. Yeah, we can rotate. Yeah, Aronson's doing great. Are people criticising Aronson? I think it's misplaced, but that's just my opinion, It's like people need something to moan about. I've seen, like, everything was positive. I've had a few comments on the video going, chill out, it's only Luton. It's like, it's never good enough. All right, okay, best performance of the season. We now need to chill out. Top of the league. We look by far and away the best team in the league. Yeah, anyway. But he says winning the game in hand puts them in the top 6. Blackburn, Ewood Park will not be an easy place for us. 3rd game in 6 days, tough test for us and another difficult game. We do not complain. We want to be on it again. I expect a tight game, something we want to do and show in a respectful way. We are aware of our strengths at the moment. Then was asked about the huge away following, obviously about 7,000 there. He said it's outstanding. I've mentioned the supporters about this football club. They're the most valuable asset, second to none, very enthusiastic. They play a massive role in home and away games. He also praised those at home as well. And he says, the emotion at times can be difficult for the young players because there is a lot of pressure. And how many times as Leeds fans have we seen players wilt wearing that white shirt? But he says it's on me to keep their nerves and keep them calm. We have big unity with our supporters. We have such a support on the road. It is amazing. Extra motivation to make them happy. Those at home too, watching the TV, we want to make them happy too. Junior being back in, no gifts. But he did say he's impressed me since I showed faith in him. A lot of us wanted him gone. Not everyone, but I was one. Said, nah, you can sell him. Let's get a left back. He said, since I showed faith in him, he's been great. And he's a cult hero now, one of them cult players, fan favourites, let's be honest. He mentioned about him taking on more responsibility. You can see that, I think, on the pitch. I don't know if you could say he is a leader, but not in a way of like captaincy vibe, because we saw his reaction to the Melier era, for example. Captain can't really be doing that. So, but he is. You can tell he's that elder statement, and he'll be back on Saturday, and that's a massive win for us. Danny says, Joe said he was a better left back than Firpo. I was at the time, not no more. He was then asked about the tactical changes, saying we saw Au on the left and Rothwell on the right. Normally it's the other way around. And he says, listen, we want to keep our opposition guessing. We want to be flexible. We wanted to ensure that Tanaka was able to pick it up in wider positions this time. And again, this is all little things where it makes me laugh when we were told he's tactically inept. And it's all these because we're not on that level. So we don't see that. We just see us not win a game and go, he's tactically inept. He relies on individuals and all that. Yet all the metrics show that as a team and as a unit, we're just the best. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. And that's not digging anyone else. I'm just saying, like, in general, like, we don't see these. I didn't even pick up on that Al was playing on the left. And I didn't see that. And then Farke gives us the explanation for it. I like that he switched the wingers as well, because he said, we didn't think James would get space in behind, for example, against this side. So he's making them changes as well. So yeah, it's happy. It's happy. It's a happy time right now, and Farke's cutting a happy figure. The lads on the bench cutting happy figures. After the match, you can see them. They look like they're having a good time out there. So everything is good. That's good. Everything is good for Leeds United right now, and we're top of the league. Best points haul in 17 game over the seasons. There you got all the metrics, all the stats, the record breaks. It's all there for people to see. Leeds United are cooking on gas, aren't they? So yeah, I'm a happy bunny, and I hope you are too. Please do smash me a like on this video. Remember, we do have the final word tonight at 9 o'clock. You'll have a preview tomorrow. I'm also doing the Sheffield United Sunderland game because someone's always got to go. People are wanting a point. I would might want Sunderland to win because I don't think they're going to stay the course. So boom. We will be there. So I'd actually like Sunderland to beat Sheffield United because we'd still be top. Do you know what I mean? And then we can create a gap over them both. As long as Sheffield United don't win, that keeps them closer, doesn't it? But yeah, I expect Firpo to come in or left back because obviously Byram's out. And that's your lot, really, from the presser, other than the January stuff, which we spoke about at the time. But I do think Farke's always like that. He's always said, listen, we will not talk about a player unless they're at the football club. Even when we know we've got one in, even like with the Goodlovogi situation and everything, he just always remains so tight-lipped. So I didn't really expect anything more. If I'm honest, though, if we do look at it, I think the most we can do is probably a 10, because I think everybody else, we have multiple players in them positions. So, I think you'll be looking at a 10. I believe we'll be 5. Well, I think we'll win the league by 10 points and top at Christmas. Big up to Sean, member for 20 months, legend. He says, I won't be on the final word, be watching Shamrock Rovers on TV in the Conference League. We'll listen in the morning. No worries, bro. Call yourself a Leeds fan, man. Who are they? What's that? Is that a made-up team, that? Is that a made-up team? Shamrocky. I'm joking, mate. I'm only joking. Smash me a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. Get your comments in, and I'll see you back here at 9 o'clock for the final word, where myself, Paul, Joe, Lockie, and Matty will be chewing over yesterday's fantastic result. Don't know, Joe Sheff, you were good. 10 points. BL's an 8. Yes, 10 points. Don't worry about it. You heard it here first. Anyway, peace out, folks. Bye-bye now. Love you all.